Hello and welcome back to Radioactive Ramblings. My name is Aaron.
And I'm Richard.
And I'm Chase, and today we're going to be covering episodes 6 through 8 of Invincible Season 4.
I also want to let you all know how to contact us quickly, first of which is our email, radioactive@thelorehounds.com. We also have a channel set up for Radioactive Ramblings in the Lorehounds Discord server. You can send us a message, chat about the show, stuff like that. We also have the contact form, or you could leave us a voicemail at thelorehounds.com. And consider giving us a follow on Blue Sky at Radioactive141. And we'd also appreciate a rating on Apple Podcasts. It helps other listeners like you find us.
Fellas, last 3 episodes of Invincible ever to come out. They're done. They canceled it. How do we feel?
Pretty good.
I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, you would be, wouldn't you? You hater.
What the heck?
It's crazy that they just left us off with that ending and they're never going to come back to it. Which, okay, by the way, full spoilers from here on out before we start spoiling things. So if you have not seen the end of Invincible Season 4, now is the time to dip out. We are not doing any spoiler-free section today.
Yeah.
But with that being said, yeah, go ahead.
One thing I want to mention that I didn't really talk about in our other episodes that I kind of really noticed because he got a lot more screen time in these episodes was they made Battle Beast so much more human looking in this show than in the comics. In the comics, he's just like a white tiger guy, basically, like with like the like braided hair on like a huge muscular body, but like they like made his face so much more humanoid in the show.
He died, right?
No, I don't think he died. No,
he just got sent flying out of like Viltrumite space.
Okay, I don't know why I took that as him like getting absolutely destroyed by Thrag. I thought that was the last we were ever going to see of Battle Beast.
Nah, he'll be back.
I mean, he should be in the future of Invincible in the show, unless they want to change that.
Okay.
And I mean, he has his own comic line too. I think it's one of Robert Kirkman's better comics. Is the Battle Beast comics.
I really enjoyed seeing the Battle Beast race like show up during the Coalition of Planets meeting. I thought that was kind of a fun little Easter egg that they put in there, a little nod to Battle Beast himself. I wonder if the rest of the race is as goated and strong as him, or if he's just one of a kind among their people.
No, he is like the pinnacle of their people.
Okay.
He's like essentially the like Alan equivalent of the Unopans, except he's not like genetically engineered.
Interesting.
He's just like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to ask a question that I don't think I've asked in a little bit. Does anyone have any big hot takes for like the season at large or just these episodes or anything that you think is a little bit controversial? Because I've got one, but I want to let you guys go first if you have anything.
Yeah, I have a few.
All right, start us off.
I don't know. I think the animation is just quite disappointing. Like, they have the resources to make it a lot better. And, like, it's just, like, at some points, it's like you're watching the show and then you're like, I just get so taken out of it when it's, like, PNGs moving around on the screen, bro. Like, I didn't mention it earlier in the episode where when we get introduced to the Ragnars and then they like look down and it's like 50 frozen Ragnars, it's all the same Ragnar art PNG in like different spots. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I get that they only have 10 animators, whatever. Like, they have.
Well, it's not the animators' fault. It's like that's Amazon is making an extremely ridiculous amount of money off the show for like as little money investment as possible.
It's not even that. They have a good budget. They just spend it like we don't need celebrities to voice insignificant characters, and I can't remember who it was, but there's characters that have like two lines and they're getting like a pretty well enough known like
Oh,
actor to do it.
you're thinking about the Flaxons. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Flaxons have like star-studded cast and they don't even like speak like an
but you're
actual
paying,
language.
yeah, but like you're paying these people for that, and
Yeah,
that
no,
can't be cheap to have a star-studded cast of people who don't even fucking say anything relevant really or important.
yeah, I agree.
I think it's one of those things like what was that movie Babylon, where they were like, oh, we've got 18 AAA actors, but the writing's shit, but it's got people that you want to see, so you're gonna see it, and then the movie bombed.
No, I agree. I mean, like, it's the fourth season of a show that's already well established. Like no one is being like, you know what, I should watch Invincible now because they added like Lee Pace. You know, like they already have Steven Yeun and like J.K. Simmons, Sandra Oh. Like people are not like being like, oh, that's this cast member is like the reason that I'm deciding to watch the show now.
Yeah, it's more like, oh, I heard this show is really good from everyone I know who's watched it, so I'm gonna watch it.
I have to say, this is part of my hot takes. I think J.K. Simmons phoned it in a little bit on his performance this season. I went back and I watched a couple of episodes from season 1 and
Okay, here's one thing I want to say before you get into that.
yeah.
They did have like, was it like 3 or 5 years to produce season one?
Yeah. No, for sure. They had more time, they had more resources. That shows up in probably every aspect of that first
Oh yeah,
season,
for
animation
sure.
included. And I think part of the quality drop is that they had all those problems around season 2, which might have been a part of the reason why the animation got worse and some of the other things in this show got a little bit worse. And they maintained a pretty similar viewership. I think Invincible it's got to be up there at least as one of the best shows on Amazon right now in terms of viewership. I think people eat this up every single year.
It's like first or second every week, and like the only show it's been losing to this time around has been The Boys, but that's because The Boys has also been on a generational run.
Right. And
Another
so
star-studded cast too.
Yeah,
exactly. And so when you've got this situation where the quality goes down and everyone is still watching and really loving the show, I think that generally people have positive things to say about this, and the animation it's talked about but not in a make or break kind of way. And so I think Amazon takes that feedback and thinks we can cut corners and nothing bad will happen to us financially.
I think it's like the only reason Invincible's animation isn't make or break is really just because the story is that good.
dude, it's the reverse of Demon Slayer. I
Like
swear to God.
dude, wait. Holy crap. That is the best take you've ever had. Oh my god. I would
Thank
go on a
you.
tangent about that, but I don't want to waste anyone's time.
I will go on a mini tangent. Demon Slayer
We'll
is
talk
the
about
most
it later.
no. Demon Slayer is such a basic plot. Like, yes, it's good. It's got great animation, but that's really the selling point. I'm not like, hey guys, you want to go watch Demon Slayer for the plot? It's
Yeah.
he kills demons, and they try to kill him, and there's powerful ones that he has to kill.
And the
Like,
screen is beautiful.
and the screen is genuinely a pinnacle of artwork. Like,
Yeah,
that's
I was
it.
gonna say, like, Invincible is like the reverse of like the seasonal anime you watch because like you saw a clip of it on TikTok and the art was really good or something. Like,
Because it's like the animation is sometimes complete fucking dog shit. I love
yeah,
the show.
sometimes it's like it low key is kind of embarrassing for how popular and how much money the show makes. But
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been
um,
noticing the PNG stuff a lot more in this season than I have in the past. I don't know if it's just I'm getting better at spotting it or
yeah, dude, it got really bad when they went to space, which was like insane because there was so much less background to animate.
yeah. I mean, they might as well just for some of these scenes clip a picture of the comics that they found online and have that flying around. Like,
Give us a freeze frame of a comic panel at this point.
Yeah, which is so sad because there are parts of this show that look really good when they put their all into it and when they devote the time and resources to a certain scene. Like, I think we all know what I'm talking about in the 7th episode. Like, there was a crazy cool looking sequence that we'll get to.
Well, like, think about season 2. You got that sequence with Omni-Man, like, floating around the black hole and, like, flying through space as he's kind of dealing with what just happened. Like, that sequence was fucking beautiful. But then season 2 also had some PNG sliding shit. Not nearly as bad as this season, but, like, when they shine, they really shine.
Yeah, we have a creative team here that is being forced to prioritize when they shouldn't be. They really do have the skill to make this whole show look beautiful, and I don't think they're being supported to make that happen.
Guys, shareholder value, all right?
Exactly. Richard, do you have any hot takes before we roll into episode 6?
Nothing that hasn't been said already, honestly. I think we're pretty one-minded on this one.
All right. Let's start off with season 4, episode 6, You Look Horrible. It's about Mark being in rough shape after his battle with Conquest, and we get a little bit of Oliver and Nolan bonding time during this episode. Did the father-son dynamic work for you guys? Do you think that they gave enough time to these two characters getting a little bit closer?
I think so, given the context. I mean, like, 2-ish months on a planet, and you're the only like people. I feel like you kind of have to bond with the other person just to not go crazy.
Yeah, I think they gave us a good like small bite of like 2 months that kind of like give us that storyline. I think they did a good job with that.
Yeah, I liked how they depicted Nolan and Oliver settling into a kind of new norm routine while they were on the planet, kind of feasting together off of those giant, disgusting looking bug creatures and trying to find some more nutritious food for...
We need more protein for Mark. He needs the protein.
I don't know why, but J.K. Simmons' delivery of "we need to find something more nutritious" really got me in that episode.
Yeah, he's on something for some reason.
Did the fake out at the end of episode 5 leave you thinking that Conquest was going to come back, Richard, at all?
I did not think so. I kind of feel like he has to be dead at this point because they're introducing Thrag, and he's just more threatening at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know why people were like, Thrag's a fraud before he started doing stuff. I mean, I know why. People were complaining about him saying no. Weird, I guess. Because that's where we're at. He didn't sound like that in the comics, guys. So,
oh yeah, dude.
I fucking hate that argument because he sounded like nothing. There's no sound coming out of the fucking book.
Like, what do you mean that's not what he sounds like?
And it also makes comic. It also like makes sense for him to not just be, oh my god, like I think people just want him to sound like he munches on fucking gravel for breakfast. I don't get it. Just having a deep voice does not.
I want
make
him
a
to sound like that
trucker
guy.
What trucker guy?
Never mind. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, not everyone needs to be like Conquest. You know, he can be strong without sounding like he has literally been through a meat grinder and come out the other side. It's okay. It's okay to have him be a little bit more polished. He's not just a strong Viltrumite. He's also the leader of their civilization. He's
like a regal. I mean, he's the Grand Regent. He's got to have that regal attitude, air to him, I guess.
Yeah. I really appreciated that this episode showed Oliver pushing back a lot on what Nolan is trying to teach him. It felt very natural for him to have that relationship with him. And part of it is just normal teenage angst sort of shit. But then, of course, there's the abandonment and everything terrible that Omni-Man has done in his life. And I think Omni-Man, throughout these episodes, has kind of repeatedly shown that he does feel like he's entitled to a second chance from the people in his life. And I still don't know how I feel about him feeling entitled to second chances from people.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing that I feel like a lot of the fans that are like, guys, I feel bad for Nolan, don't seem to understand is that he's been doing this shit for 1,000 years. It's not like Earth was the first planet he went to and it immediately changed him. He has probably, I mean, we know that he's destroyed or conquered like hundreds of planets. They say that to him in season 2, season 3, where like the other Viltrumites do. And so like it's not like that's all he's done. He's done so much worse shit than we've seen for hundreds of years, and that's just not redeemable in a year of introspection.
And Oliver kind of pushes him along on his journey a little bit. I think through his actions with that creature that lays Mark's eggs, that is a really terrible way to word it. But that creature that is laying the eggs that they're harvesting kind of shows Nolan to value life in general a little bit more, even if it's not sentient life, even if it doesn't look like he does, that there's value in not just killing something because it might be, I don't know, aggressive because you're invading its home or this or that reason. And hopefully Nolan takes that lesson to heart. Everything is such a slow burn for him because he's so indoctrinated to thinking a certain way that he's got a long way to go still before he becomes a good person, I think.
Yeah.
Should we talk about what happens in this episode on Telescria with the Coalition of Planets? This was a fun little action piece.
It
Yeah.
was. I actually really liked it for the most part. This big battle. There were some parts. There were still a few fucking sliding PNGs, but other than that, I had like no issues with this. And also the mole reveal.
Oh, in the comics, the mole was Talia.
Really?
Oh, okay.
That
See,
would
like
have been
that,
impactful.
that makes sense. I put this into my like thing at the end, and I'll talk about it a bit more then probably, unless I go on a rant here. But like, we don't know who this guy is. This is just some fucking background character. There's no. It's like in video games when like you play the opening mission of the game, and like your friend that you've supposedly known for years dies. Like I don't care. It's just some random person at that point, you know?
Almost like 2 full seasons setting up this mole plot line, and it was Data Twin number 2.
No, it was Data Twin number 2 in the comics. I just said that to see if one of you would be like, "Oh, I thought it was her."
Oh, I think I might have said on a past podcast that it could have been her, but I was just grasping at straws, I think, because
Yeah, they don't really like give you any reason to think who is the mole other than they just being like, "There's a mole."
Yeah.
And also, what do the Viltrumites really gain from there being a mole? I know that they're able to get through the defenses, yada yada. They could have just gotten rid of that whole need. They could have just said the Viltrumites are here on Telescria, and I would have believed it. I didn't need anything
Well, I
extra.
think the point, right, is like if they could have just done that the whole time, wouldn't they have just pulled up earlier and just killed everyone there before they created an anti-Viltrumite like squadron?
True, yeah.
I suppose it makes sense for that, but then have the mole be a character that we care about. This guy wasn't even in the show until I think this season, and only in like 2 scenes before the big reveal that it's fucking John Doe over there.
It was just ridiculous. Especially when his buddy Data Twin number 1 shoots him in the forehead and he keeps on living and talking.
Has to shoot him twice.
That was really funny. It might have been worth it just for that.
I guess.
I like that Nolan and his family save Telescria from being like completely obliterated or at least part of it, obliterated from the flagship falling on the planet after they destroy it. I liked them all struggling to get that thing back up into space.
Dude, in the show, they made Thetis destroy, like, when he was fighting in that episode. Like, yeah, I was very surprised. I was like, oh my god, they're making. I was thinking they might not make Thetis die
Dude,
so
he was
easily.
feeling like watching Optimus Prime in Revenge of the Fallen. I know you
No,
know what I'm
like,
talking about.
I
Chase.
do know what you're talking about. It really was like, I was like, dang, Thetis is piecing Viltrumites up.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Dude, he had hands this episode. It was great. He had hands in the next episode until he
Yeah.
He put on his
RIP.
Socrates fit and he got to work in this episode.
He's balling out. Yeah.
Socrates fit.
Dude, with like the beard and everything, he looked like those marble statues of Socrates and like paintings of him.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
I've got to say, Thetis gets totally faked out by Thrag. Thrag's plan to lure him back to Viltrum. Thetis eats out of his hand like he's a horse eating sugar cubes. This guy just can't get enough of Thrag's bullshit.
Do horses commonly eat sugar cubes?
Yeah, that's their whole snack situation. They love sugar cubes.
I thought they ate like carrots.
Dude, do you have any apples or carrots or something crunchy for me to eat?
Sugar cubes, apples, salt licks.
Salt licks. I do know about salt licks. Do they get salt and sugar licks?
Maybe they do. I really liked this episode. I was a little bit worried going into it about the pacing, especially when I heard that it was going to be focused on Mark's recovery and the Grayson family just kind of being together during that. But they've really impressed me with the second half of this season. They did a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, it was just straight one episode after another. The finale was great. I think people need to like understand what a plot driven finale is, because we had the same thing with Peacemaker where people didn't like it because there wasn't big fighting and explosions everywhere.
I love when they don't make like the finale episode the big fight episode, and they like actually like put a bow on things at the end of a season, you know?
Yeah, there's just no way that if they had done the arc that they did in episode 7 at the end of this season that it would have really hit the same. You need that little breather, and there was so much unresolved stuff on Earth that I think they handled really well. All of the personal conflicts were done in a way that I thought was satisfying, except for one. My goat got broken up with. Yeah.
Listen,
they made him kind of a loser in that.
Yeah, Paul, my goat, did not deserve that. He made the best protein tubes
with that red sauce.
Yep.
But any final words on You Look Horrible before we take a quick break?
Dude, don't say that. All right, you look horrible.
Well, in order to freshen up a little bit, let's take a quick break. And we are back to talk about episode 7 of Invincible Season 4, Don't Do Anything Rash. And this episode starts off with a bang. We've got the Viltrum flashback, the council meeting with Emperor Argyle and his fellow Viltrumites, notably Thrag, Craig, and Thetis. And we get a little info. Krieg?
I know it's spelled Craig, but everyone calls him Krieg.
Well, he's Craig now. He's got to adapt to his Luna. Jesus.
Yeah. Maybe you should adapt to, I don't know, speaking English.
He's got to adapt to his new life of riding bikes and smoking. What do you guys think about the council meeting and the Relonian question?
Before we actually talk about the plot stuff, I liked that Frank Welker, the voice of Megatron, was the voice of Argyle. Very, very peak.
And here I thought you didn't like them bringing on big names just for the sake of it.
Frank Welker, no. When it works for me, it's great, but when it doesn't, stupid, dumb idiot. But to be fair, Argyle should have a voice actor that's like a threatening villain sometimes, at least. Flaxen number 18 does not need to have Brad Pitt.
Yeah, Argyle does haunt the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that this is not the last time we're going to see Argyle in a flashback. I think that if they're going to cast someone like that to play him, we're going to see a little bit more. I think next season
Well, all
next
of
season
next
is going to be
season is
crazy.
going to be Rudy and Amanda in the Flaxen dimension.
If they give us a whole
Oh.
episode just on Rudy, I don't think that I can watch this show anymore. I think that'll be it for me. I think I'll
I'm
have
not
to.
gonna lie, we might get more than one episode. That is just them in the Flaxen dimension. There is
I'm
a
gonna
lot
freak
of
out.
content that they could cover.
I guess that makes sense because they're probably over there for, what, 20 years, 30 years?
Something crazy.
Let's just continue with this because I don't want to spoil anything more.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough. Argyle gets assassinated by our friend Thetis, and in the aftermath, Thrag is named Grand Regent, and in an effort to root out what he sees as weakness in Viltrumite society, he tells his people to basically take part in what gets known as the Great Purge, and he starts that off by executing the guy standing next to him.
And putting on his hard fit.
They didn't show this in the show, but in the comics, they show that Thetis assassinates Argyle by using a sharpened Viltrumite bone.
I didn't know
That's
that's what it was,
crazy.
but
Yeah.
I've seen the panel of him sticking the dagger in Megatron's head.
That's a weapon
Yeah.
type that I think they didn't utilize quite enough in this season. It's a little grim.
Sharpened Viltrumite bone.
It's
Yeah.
grim, but it also, like, that's kind of metal as fuck. You know?
I never. Well, like, the whole point was that, like, it would have been one of the only things strong enough to, like, stab or, like, pierce through a Viltrumite. But it's like, why the fuck what is that knife on Thula's hair made out of? Like,
Yeah,
I love the
true.
ponytail knife weapon. I think that's
every
Yeah.
time I see it,
It's
I'm
very
like,
unique.
that is the most ridiculous weapon you could wield.
Yeah, but it's like having a rope dart on you at all times.
Because the funny thing is, every time she uses it, someone ends up yanking her damn head with the fucking ponytail.
True, it's got drawbacks, but it does work.
The only time she would ever need to use it is against, like, another Viltrumite, right? Because 99.9999999, like, repeating percent of all living things in the universe, like, can't even hurt a Viltrumite. So it's like, is it there just so she can, like, lawnmower people with it, like, spin around
Probably.
it, like helicopter people chop with it, or like, is that supposed to be like her secret weapon against other Viltrumites in combat? And
it's got to be like a crowd control tool.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like every time she's used it against another Viltrumite, they end up just grabbing her hair and yanking her shit.
I mean, Nolan, I can remember, because I thought she died in season 2, when Nolan, like, grabbed her hair, pulled her in, and just elbowed her fucking jaw off. That was before, though, I understood that Viltrumites could have their guts just torn out, and they'll pop right back up 2 days later.
Well, yeah, basically, as long as, like, you don't, like, pop their heart or, like, crush their brain or rip their spine out, like, as long as they get medical treatment, they'll survive anything.
Do they get stronger when surviving a near-death experience? Is it Dragon Ball logic?
I don't know, dude. Like, it's never explicitly shown or discussed, but, like, that's how it seems. Like, it.
Yeah. I know he doesn't do, like, legitimate power scaling, which is sometimes annoying.
Robert Kirkman has had some very interesting takes on power scaling.
I get it to a point. Like, I do.
I mean, it's like, I think he thinks of power scaling as, like, the way that, like, internet, like, Reddit nerds talk about it, where they're like, well, because that he can destroy a building with one punch, he can output, like, 5 megatons of TNT of damage, and like no, like, obviously no one actually cares about that, but it's like, you should have your character should be consistent at their strength.
Yeah, there should be like relative levels to everything so that we can at least, we can confidently say that Tech Jacket can't just fucking one punch Thrag if she's having a good day. Because that's kind of what it seems like sometimes.
Well, because
is that,
it just becomes like the Superman issue where like he's the main character becomes as strong as you need him to be in that moment.
Right.
Can we talk about how Tech Jacket was done dirty by the Coalition of Planets? They should have given her enough of that Viltrumite weakening juice to last her throughout the whole battle.
Yeah, well, maybe she should have landed some more shots. Like, I love how they're like, we really need this for Thrag, and then she uses every single one on like no-name Viltrumites.
She uses one on a no-name Viltrumite that's got a fucking Ragnar charging at it.
I swear, like, every time she used it, Alan was like, yo, like, use those more carefully.
Yeah. Yeah. Just wild.
Let's get our lineup here for the siege on Viltrum. We've got, on the Coalition side, Thetis, the Grayson family, Alan, Tech Jacket, Battle Beast, Space Racer. Am I missing anyone? I think that's it.
Yeah, no, I think you've got everyone.
And they need to take down every remaining Viltrumite in the universe. That's essentially their task for this episode.
And one of them is Thrag.
No, their mission was to. I thought the whole thing was like kill Thrag. Like,
I think they wanted to
and
cut
scatter.
the head off. Yeah, but at the same time, like, their optional goal is to kill as many as they can, just because who wants a walking nuke going through the universe?
Yeah.
And they did kill like 10 Viltrumites in this episode. I mean, Space Racer got like 3. The Ragnars killed a few. There was more than that though, right? I mean, Alan uppercutted dudes like.
I think Alan killed like 2 with the help of the darts.
Yeah.
I don't know how many specifically died in this battle, but I know in episode 8, I think it was Thrag who revealed
like 37,
that there's 37.
Right?
Yeah, 37 Viltrumites left in the whole universe. I don't know if he was counting like Omni-Man and Mark in that. I think he might have just been talking about his own.
Probably Omni-Man and Mark, but probably not Oliver.
Yeah, I don't think that Thrag even considers Oliver to be a Viltrumite. I think he barely considered. Actually, no. I think he's pretty impressed by Mark. I think he considers Mark to be Viltrumite.
At least good enough, yeah.
I liked the little break from the fighting that they took when Thrag absolutely launches Nolan onto Viltrum and gives him his little speech about, come back, we're family. All will be forgiven. All you got to do is lay down your arms and come join me.
Yeah, and I think that was the turning point in Nolan's eyes where he was like, okay, Viltrum's gotta fucking go.
That, and I think that Thrag might have successfully planted some doubts about Thetis and the Coalition of Planets' intentions into Nolan's head when he brings up, do you really think that Thetis is going to let you and Mark and Oliver just go as Viltrumites in this universe?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that's a genuine question that Nolan has to think about. We as the audience know that answer, and I think that the answer is no. I don't think Thetis would have let the family go, but
no.
Now it all
didn't really matter.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter because Thetis gets decapitated by Thrag just a little while later. That I was not expecting.
My jaw was on the ground because, like, I knew he was gonna do something, but I didn't think he would have shocked Thetis and been fast enough to just rip his head clean off like that. That's a little more crazy than I expected.
Yeah, especially since Thetis was the one who killed Argal, I made the very incorrect assumption that if anyone was close to Thrag in terms of power, that it would be Thetis, maybe Omni-Man, but that was just so incredibly wrong. Thetis gets...
Yeah, Thrag?
Yeah, I think the first time we see Thrag fight in the comics is like when Mark tries to punch him in the head and he literally like turns his fist to jelly by just punching him in the head.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I like how threatening and intimidating they made Thrag this season too. Like the fact that Mark like flies up and punches him, like that should have some force behind it from what we've seen out of Mark. And the fact that Thrag is just kind of just kind of taking it, and there's no visible damage on him in any way, shape, or form, is insane.
Yeah,
I really
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I really liked the characterization that they did with Thrag, where he's just standing, or not standing there, he's floating out in space watching the battle happen. I would have been a little bit confused on why he was just standing back and letting everyone fight while he stands off to the side if they hadn't shown us the flashback at the beginning of The Great Purge, where he does the same thing. He likes testing people's strength out. He likes to know what's going on with the people that are fighting against him and what's going on with the people that are fighting for him.
Yeah, I think there's nothing I could have told you guys to like prepare you for how strong Thrag was. Like when I was reading the comics, it was like getting hella build up to Thrag's like actually fighting. I was shocked. I was like, what the heck? How are they ever beating this guy?
Yeah.
As soon as the fraud allegations started coming out, I bought into it. I was like, there's no way this guy is as strong as everyone says he is. They make a joke about it, I think, in this episode on the way there, where Oliver's like, yeah, there's no way this dude lives up to it.
And then the reports all say that he lives up to the hype.
I still didn't believe it, though. Because there's like the level of power that they've already put on Viltrumites. I just didn't think that there was a way to top that meaningfully. I was like, oh, he's going to punch a little bit harder. He's going to be stronger than the other Viltrumites. But this guy is genuinely, he might as well be a different species. His power is just so out there in terms of what other Viltrumites can do.
Yeah, they couldn't even make him like wince.
Truly.
What I was expecting is like he kills Space Racer, maybe he kills all of the Ragnars that come up against him, and that's how they show that he's stronger. Like I figured that was gonna be it for like deaths.
I was ready for the super laser to bounce off him.
I've seen that fucking Space Racer panel.
Speaking of Space Racer is actually like one of the characters they use in the comics to display how strong Thrag is, because when they introduce him and the Infinity Ray, he gives this whole spiel about like how he needs to be very careful when he shoots it because it goes on for infinity, and like every time he shoots it, there's a chance that it hits a star and causes a supernova. His motorcycle, like his spaceship motorcycle thing, is like extremely fast, and in the comics, Space Racer is like flying and Thrag catches up to him and is like as fast as him in an instant, and Space Racer is so scared that he's just spamming his gun trying to shoot Thrag, but he can't hit him.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Like that's very fitting to show that Space Racer knows he's gonna fucking die if Thrag gets him, and he's just ready to potentially destroy hundreds of stars.
At first, I was like, why aren't they mass producing this Infinity Ray bullshit? But then I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, oh, that would be the end of the universe if they started making more of these. Everything would just be...
Yeah, like if we're talking about space stuff that this thing could hit, look, let's just go to it. A black hole, right? Like what happens there? Does the black hole just fucking explode and everything dies, or what? What do we do there?
While we're talking about Space Racer, I think this is a good time to bring up that he is pretty instrumental in the destruction of Viltrum. He shoots his little ray, and then we got Mark, Nolan, and Thetis blasting through the planet at top speed to world crack this motherfucker. They are the Death Star.
Yeah, I thought that was another scene that was just absolutely insane. I thought it was really good symbolism having it be Thetis, Nolan, and Mark, because you got Thetis representing like old Viltrum kind of, and the Coalition. Then you've got Nolan is like a pure, used to be a pure Viltrumite.
Right now, actually, I want you to search up the image from the comics of when they like exit the planet, because they did not do it justice in this show. It is like they did. The drawing is so good.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now where...
If you search up Viltrum Destroyed, it should be like the second image.
Is it the panel where the world is like exploding from the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah, that it would have been cool if they had done it a little bit more.
I
But
like that a lot better than the way they did it in the show.
yeah, just like the immediate brimstone and fucking flames. I liked everyone's reaction to it almost as much as I
Yeah.
liked the actual destruction. I particularly Lucan, who I don't know how this guy is becoming a fan favorite Viltrumite.
People just like Lucan because of how he is in the comics.
Yeah. But he's becoming a fan favorite, and him looking at Viltrum with the puppy dog eyes was perfect.
I actually saw that image at like 10 a.m. the day that episode released, and I was really mad because I saw that and the caption was like, "Yeah, Lucan, that's your planet getting destroyed." Like, what? Why did I have to see that before I even had a chance to watch the episode?
Now I've got a real query for y'all. Did they do the right thing destroying Viltrum?
I honestly like. What do you mean? Like, is it morally wrong?
Yeah, I guess is that the
No.
best path forward that they could have taken?
I mean, yeah, probably. They don't have a base of operations anymore. And like it's a little different from like killing a planet that's inhabited, you know? Who's on the planet getting destroyed, you know?
Are you telling me that those okay, 50 Viltrumites, they're living on that planet. They have an empire. They don't have any innocent workers living on Viltrum keeping up those gardens. They don't have millions upon millions of slaves trying to keep things up. I don't know. I think that millions of innocents might have just died on Viltrum when they did that.
Based on what we saw when Nolan and Thrag went there, though, it looked pretty like
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the
down.
whole thing is like it's essentially abandoned.
I'd assume like maybe Thrag's got like a nice throne room somewhere.
You gotta think they have like thousands of conquered worlds. Like they don't need like the only thing they go to Viltrum for is like just because it like just to like basically
it's
like
home.
It's home. Yeah, like all their resources are accumulated through other conquered planets.
Yeah, I mean Viltrum was a complete wasteland. There was nothing there except for the bones of old cities and shit.
Yeah, so like I don't think like they're likely not killing innocent people, destroying the planet, and the planet is basically just used as a home base for evil people. So I don't know. I don't think it was a horrible thing to do. Just kind of crazy.
Well, I guess you already know my answer, but it is dependent on whether or not there was anyone else on Viltrum. I think Mark already feels bad about having destroyed a planet, and I don't think this show is going to pin that on him.
I think he's worried that destroying the planet has brought more bad than it has brought good.
I think he's more just worried about the consequences. Yeah, like less about the fact that he destroyed a planet, more about like I destroyed Thrag's planet, and Thrag is a monster.
Can we like teach the costume designers in the Invincible universe how to make shirts fireproof as well as pants? I feel like we got to unlock that technology sometime soon to make the whole super suit fireproof.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, because he didn't have a shirt on after they destroyed the planet, right?
Well, because like the whole thing is like going through the planet would like break their clothing, but I don't think they wanted to draw them naked.
No, well, yeah. Which is just funny. Like I get that they were trying to show, oh, it was really hot, it burned off their clothing, but when it's only half, I'm like, you could have just said that the whole suit was resistant to that, and it would have been fine.
There's a dude that shoots a beam that can go on through infinity. I think it's not crazy to say, yeah, they can make clothing that can resist really hot temperatures.
Yeah, I mean, it really just it ruins my suspension of disbelief when they're flying through the core of a planet, and only the that's really where the science gets messed up for me.
Yeah,
should we talk about Oliver being a dumbass again?
Every 5 seconds on TikTok, I get a TikTok being like Oliver the picosecond someone could literally turn him into space dust. Like
Oliver when he's fighting the guy whose power is to kill Oliver, and he decides to go it alone. Every 3 scrolls, I swear to God.
This kid's never gonna learn, but I guess he's okay. And he gets shipped off to Telescria to recover a little bit. So hopefully the back to tank gives him his jaw back and his arm back. That's all I've got to say about Oliver. This kid's pissing me off.
He
I
really
mean,
is.
I'm just confused on how Nolan recovered faster than Oliver when Nolan got an arm through his freaking guts.
I guess we can. Nolan's a pure Viltrumite.
I guess, yeah, I guess that you could make that distinguish.
Like, because I guess the Thraxans were pretty they seemed pretty weak, so like maybe they have shittier healing. I don't even know. I'm just gonna spitball until something sticks.
I think that's a good enough explanation for me. That
Okay.
he doesn't have the full Viltrumite blood in him yet. He'll get there one day. He's outgrowing his purple.
Yeah, one day he won't be purple anymore.
Boo.
Oliver's not the only one who gets left in shambles. Like Richard said, our friend Nolan gets Viltrumite chopped through the stomach. Mark gets the shit beat out of him by Thrag. And Thrag, he has a moment where he shows a little bit of mercy towards these fellas and says that enough Viltrumite's blood has been spilt on this day. Is this a genuine emotional reaction, or is he just playing games?
I don't think he's playing games, but I think if he'd taken more than like 5 seconds to think about it, he probably would have gone back to just beating the ever-loving shit out of them. Because, like, I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, Thrag, these are like the only threats in the universe to you. You might, like, from his standpoint, it makes less sense.
I mean, I don't think he views them as a threat after turning them into ragdolls.
I guess, but like they have the greatest potential, I guess, to be a threat.
Yeah.
I think that Thrag needs Mark and Nolan for something. I think that at the very least, Thrag has the beginnings of his Earth idea in his head at this moment, and I think that he wants to use Mark as his proxy for like dealing with Earth, or use
Well, I think
Nolan
the whole
as his
thing is when he
proxy
was
for
about to
dealing with Earth.
kill Mark, he like realized he's like, wait, Nolan created one of the strongest living Viltrumites with someone on Earth. Maybe we should go there and recreate the Viltrumite Empire.
Yeah, which the method of doing that is just absolutely great. We'll get into it when we start talking about the next episode, but just a wild plan that he's got. With that being said, shall we talk about Don't Leave Me Hanging here?
Yeah.
All right. Mark is readjusting to his post-war life, and he's dealing with a lot of hallucinations and anxiety about his family, and it seems like they're doing a little bit of a storyline here where Mark is going to have to recover from some post-traumatic stress disorder stuff. And this leads me to my major complaint about this episode, and the downfall of William. When the whole crew, the teenager crew from past seasons, is back together on the college campus, and they're walking around, and Rick, William's boyfriend, notices that Mark is maybe going through some PTSD and having some trouble. William's like, "How do you know that?" As if he doesn't know that his boyfriend went through like years of recovery and had a whole storyline in a previous season about dealing with PTSD. When he asks like, "How do you know that? How do you know what he's going through?" I was like, "This is so stupid. We know we know the answer to this."
William lobotomy is insane, dude.
Actually,
No, it's just because Sinclair got to William too.
oh my god,
Oh yeah.
fucking Sinclair, man.
Yeah, get this guy out of here.
Did you guys have any thoughts about this storyline? I got faked out with the first Debbie.
The first one got me. Everything after that I kind of figured.
Yeah, it got me too because those PTSD scenes weren't in the comics.
Oh, okay, interesting. I do like some of the most of the changes that they're making from the comics.
Yeah, it seems like everything they're doing is serving the plot a lot better. I think that the way that they handled Mark and Eve reuniting and dealing with the abortion storyline in this episode was done very well. And I think particularly showing Mark sort of beating himself up for not being there for Eve, I think that's exactly how Mark would be reacting in this situation. And, you know, it's a tough situation because Eve obviously is not blaming Mark for not being there, but at the same time, him not being there did make things harder for her. And that's just the reality of the situation. He wasn't there to support her. There's nothing that he could have done differently, but it doesn't make it any easier on the two of them.
Definitely like rock in a hard place type thing.
Yeah, and I think they're both trying to be very understanding. More so, Eve is trying to be comforting towards Mark. And that's the one thing that I maybe didn't like so much is that Mark takes this difficult situation where he is maybe should be there for Eve at this moment and sort of turns it on himself and is like, oh, but I wasn't there. And it forces Eve to have to be the one to comfort him.
When they should really
I don't
be
know.
more like 50-50
Yeah.
about everything.
Which there was a lot of. It was very. It went both ways. I think they were both trying to be there for each other as much as possible. Mark is just in a bad space at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know how did this storyline hit you guys? Chase, is this kind of the same way that it plays out in the comics, or is this another example of them handling sensitive issues better?
Yeah, it's essentially the same.
Okay.
Yeah, in the comics, they're a lot weirder about Eve gaining weight.
I kind of figured that was one of the holdovers from the comics. They turned Paul into a little bit of a loser this episode.
What are you supposed to do when your ex-girlfriend is bothering you at work?
I have experience with this one, folks.
I didn't appreciate the way that Paul was like, no, it's okay. We're just friends now. There's nothing that can be done about it. He just kind of came off as a little bit of a loser, and I don't think Paul is like that.
Paul will be missed.
Paul is going to be... but who knows? He might be in the next season as a support character for Mark. He's got a key to the house. Maybe he'll check in on things every now and then.
And they're going to have Dwayne The Rock Johnson voice act for him.
Yes.
But he's only going to be in 2 minutes of episode 5.
He'll get paid $10 million.
Oh, I was going to go higher than that.
The whole episode's budget is just for The Rock voicing
It's just
Paul.
stick figures.
Jesus Christ.
Stick figure with a turtleneck and a blazer.
We're approaching that level.
Yep.
Let's talk about the GDA and Cecil. We already talked briefly about Sinclair, but Sinclair royally fucks up the dimensional experiment that's meant to bring Robot and Monster Girl back from the Flaxen dimension. And this leads to Cecil just canceling the whole project. Monster Girl and Robot, they're on their own. They got to figure out a way back from Flaxa together without the GDA's help. What do you think about Cecil abandoning them, Chase?
I mean, it didn't seem like he had much of an option.
That
octopus monster really got him.
It also does make sense though, because like it's Rudy. And I will not be calling him Rex. It's Rudy. He's the guy that figured out how to clone himself a new body, put his consciousness into. Well, I guess he didn't figure that part out, but like he's smart and he has access to probably more advanced tech than the GDA has, so he should be able to cobble his way out of that.
You know what I didn't understand in this dimensional experiment scene? I don't know why nobody asked Sinclair, how do I shut this thing down? They spent so long, like, paused on Donald just looking at the controls, not knowing what to do. Meanwhile, Sinclair is in the air. Maybe he wouldn't have answered, but no one even really tries to.
Yeah, or like, I feel like when you're doing stuff like this, you have to design like a big red button that says in big words, kill switch. Or emergency stop. Just having worked in a place that has deadly machines, everything has an emergency stop that's so clearly labeled you cannot miss it.
Yeah.
Suspension of disbelief type shit.
But Donald does his thing. He uses his robot fist to get the control panel, and thankfully that shuts down the experiment.
Yeah.
I appreciated that Cecil was understanding of Mark's situation when he comes back and offers to help him find therapy. You have Mark who is asking, like, are those therapists still available? And Cecil is like, yeah, we got you covered. We'll help you out here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a nice little moment. I think that Cecil can be empathetic when he's trying to be.
Yeah, I was expecting a very different reunion, though, given that Mark did run into Conquest. I kind of thought we were going to see something with that, but maybe not. Maybe we can just let bygones be bygones with that one.
Oh, well, I don't think they're going to let that one go. I think Mark is going to have a conversation with Cecil next season. I think it's going to be
Probably.
Mark gets pissed off at Cecil about something completely different, and then is like, by the way, why the
Guess
fuck
what?
did I run into
I had a-
Conquest out there?
Yeah, I had a pretty interesting day. Guess who I ran into out in space? And
Yeah.
Cecil's going to be like, are you sure?
What'd you guys think about Cecil and Nolan having their little conversation at the Mark Grayson Memorial Crater?
I thought it was cool. I like that they keep going back to the crater for like important discussions. I shouldn't say keep, because I think this is only the second time we've seen it since the crater was formed. But it serves as a good parallel between Mark when he was there in season 2 and now Nolan being there, thinking about kind of similar things, I guess, similar events, but from a different perspective, of course, is great.
Yeah.
And once again, he feels entitled to fucking forgiveness, and he's just not there.
Yeah, and he does the same thing with Debbie later in the episode where he's like, you have to give me a chance. Look, I'm trying to do the right thing. It's just this whole mindset of he's redeeming himself. You have to let him do his thing. You have to let him be a good person and forgive him and let him be better. And I think that Nolan needs to learn that nobody owes him forgiveness, especially when he's done all this terrible shit. Maybe someday he'll earn it from people, but until then, he's just got to do the right thing and be content with the fact that he's doing the right thing and trying to make up for it without having everyone fawn over him and say, "Oh my god, you're the best person ever. You were so evil. You could have been so bad and destroyed 13 planets, but instead you only destroyed 12." Like, he's just got to get a little bit more humble.
Yeah, he's got to understand that it's just going to take time, and that he can't just brute force it by saying, "Well, I'm trying to change, so you have to just roll over."
Too bad that approach is kind of working for him so far, so I don't know if he's going to learn that lesson.
Yeah, you'd think, though.
You would. The Coalition is also setting up an early warning system for Viltrumites on Earth, but apparently they didn't set that shit up quite early enough because the Viltrumites are already on Earth. We are here.
We are here. Yes. What was the point of telling him that? Like, they were blended in. Just stay blended in then, if that's your goal.
Well, because I think the whole thing was like, if you act up, we're here to put you in check.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
And they would have figured out that there's Viltrumites living on Earth eventually, right? Like, I don't think there's a way to get around that. Eventually, Lucan or General Craig or Anissa are going to take a little fly through the stratosphere and get found out. So
I don't know, bro. I think they're pretty good at following orders.
now this is my big question. I guess, Chase, you can't really answer it, so this is going to be more for Richard. But what are we thinking? Are these Viltrumites going to remain loyal, or are they going to have their own little mini Nolan moments where they find love on Earth and feel differently about their place in the world?
I think it's a case by case. I think not Craig, Krieg and Lucan are more likely to fold. I don't think that Anissa will. And I do partially know some comic stuff, and that's sort of fueling my idea there, but not enough to make like a firm guess, really.
Yeah.
Either. How about you? Since you also don't know enough.
I pretty much am on the same page as you. I think some of them are going to fall in love with their life on Earth and realize that there's a lot more to life than conquering planets and wearing cool eye patches. You can also ride a motorcycle.
You think Dula still has the knife on her hair? On Earth, walking around with the knife ponytail?
I feel like she could join the circus and do some tricks with that.
Dude, Viltrumite Circus. They should all do that shit.
I kind of like that idea.
Robert Kirkman, deliver on this idea now.
10-part comic series of just Viltrumite Circus, and Knife Ponytail Lady is our main character for the
It'll
whole.
be almost as long as the Rudy and Amanda in the Flaxen Dimension.
Oh,
God.
I don't like that.
I'll prepare myself for next season to watch that unfold.
Are you gonna stand ready for its arrival?
I don't think anyone is standing ready for an
it's gonna
arrival.
be the whole season, right?
You're lying. I know
No,
you're fucking lying.
It's not. It wouldn't. At least I hope it wouldn't be the whole season.
You're not giving me hope, Chase.
I think that they're going to pull it off. If this season is any indication of where the story is going, the writer's room is locked in at the very least.
It wouldn't be the whole season, but I would not be surprised if it's at least 2 episodes.
Like a mini arc kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's all get ourselves ready and prepared. And finally, you talk about what's happening with the Coalition of Planets. This was all post-credit stuff, right?
I think so.
Alan, we see him taking his place as the new leader of the coalition in full now. We saw him a little bit adjusting to his new role, being pretty on the fence about whether or not he was going to be able to do it, but Talia gives him a little pep talk and hands him that message from Thetis. I am worried about Alan. I'm worried about what he's going to do.
I think he's gonna make the wrong choice.
I think he's going to at least try to make the wrong choice.
What do you mean by that?
I think unleashing it is the wrong choice because Thetis did say that there's a chance that it could hurt Mark's people, and I'm assuming he just means humans, obviously.
Yeah, I would agree.
And like releasing a plague that could potentially wipe the world, not great.
I think Alan is going to try to commit genocide against everyone on Earth. I think he's going to be stopped.
That's your theory?
That's my theory.
I have a different theory. I don't think he's going to want to do it. I think
he doesn't want to. I think he has to.
He and Nolan are going to debate it and try to figure out any other possible way out of it. And then Nolan is going to do that stupid selfish bullshit where he's doing it for himself because he thinks it'll make him better, feel better, whatever. And he's going to make the decision to unleash it. And that is going to be the problem. Or at least he's going to lead to convincing Alan to unleash it as like, I can make up for my mistakes if I do this. Because he's not going to think about it fully. Maybe. I don't know.
I think that what we're going to see is very much Talia or the Coalition of Planets at large acting as the devil on Alan's shoulder and pushing him to make that choice. Although I think at this point, him and whatever scientists were working with Thetis are the only ones who know. I don't think Talia even knows that the Scourge virus still exists out there.
I'm pretty sure it's like kept under wraps for now.
I'm sure he's going to tell Talia. I think they're very much a no secrets kind of couple, especially given that they're both pretty high up in the Coalition of Planets. I don't think Alan's going to keep that from her.
And they made another stupid fucking sex joke. She can sex it out of him, guys. Ha ha ha. See how they made another one of those stupid fucking jokes?
Yeah, I don't know why they were so obsessed with those jokes in this season, but
funniest joke of the season or bit of the season is when they're all traveling to Earth and Tech Jacket's trying to talk to Nolan and Mark and he's just like, you guys fucking suck.
The fact that they were just staring off into space and ignoring her was really it was pretty funny. And she had that bowl of Soylent Green in front of her, genuine like protein slop. Shit looked disgusting.
Protein tubes.
Chase, I know you can't comment on any of this Alan stuff, but I guess did you think that this was adapted well?
Yeah.
Well, with that, are there any last plot points that we haven't covered that anyone wants to bring up and talk about?
Not plot points, but I'm happy that Omni-Man, Nolan, whatever, didn't end up putting his arm around Debbie at the end there. That would have been like kind of regressive.
We're not there yet.
Given that the whole season is about how he needs to take his time.
Dude, that would have been so smooth, bro.
No, the whole season's been about how he needs to take
Kidding.
his time and understand it. I know you're kidding, but I also know that there's people out there who aren't kidding when they say that.
Yeah, I think he did the right thing by not
Not reaching out.
not reaching out. I still don't like the idea that the two of them are going to get back together. I feel like it's inevitable, but I don't like it
I will
necessarily.
say, from what we talked about last time and what Chase told us about how they're just kind of like fuck Paul in the comics, this is at least better. And it's not an instant take back despite everything he's done. Like that's good. At least they're developing it differently.
Yeah. All right. Well, Richard, do you want to start us off by giving the fine people at home your professional review of
Oh
this
yeah, it's
season?
very professional. We already talked on a lot of this stuff, so I'm really just gonna name drop it and move on past it. But I think this has been an amazing season. But the main issues for me were the animation, of course. Uh, but other than that, still my favorite season so far. There was so much going on in the war. There were crazy fight scenes. There was good character development, good character like moments, and the animation did shine at moments. But my biggest issue is the mole. Like bigger than the animation is that fucking mole thing because that's the story is so good, and I don't know how they could just have it not build into something more interesting than that. But other than
No, that
that,
guy
I thought
was
it
hella
was
interesting.
oh yeah, Data Twin number 2 reminds me of like the randoms in Attack on Titan, like Survey Corps member number 39 that just gets eaten 2 seconds after they appear on screen. But yeah, I'll give the season a 9 out of 10 as a whole. But these episodes were amazing, and so they're sitting at a 9.5 for me.
All
Dude,
right.
Data Twin number 2, top 10 representations of betrayal.
I'm gonna see that you're shit in a slideshow, and I'm gonna make sure to send it to you.
Well, Chase, do you want to tell us all about how much you loved Data Twin number 2?
Yeah, I'm not seeing him in your little review at all. What's
Well,
going
I'll
on
get to
there?
it. I'll get to it.
Oh, you better. I'm waiting.
This season has been great overall, with many highs and a few lows, which I'll be starting with. The animation. Let's just all be honest here. Animation and art this season, not up to snuff. They blew their whole budget on half of one episode, and it wasn't even the most important one. Yes, I'm talking about the Conquest episode. I'm happy that that episode looked that and that fight looked great, but you're lying if you think that that episode deserved the best animation instead of the fucking fight with Dragon blowing up Viltrum episode. Come on. Let's be honest, everyone.
After you had us look at the panel from Destroying Viltrum, I think that should have been a big budget dump.
Yeah.
100%.
The other low, of course, the fourth episode of this season. We're not even going to talk about it any more than that. But even with those lows, they have outdone themselves with the voice acting and actual storytelling. I think I'll give these episodes a 9 out of 10, and that's generous, all right? And I'll give the whole season a 9 out of 10. I personally do want to go on one little power scaling tangent. I do agree that we talked about this a little bit in the last episode. Just strength is a extreme inconsistency in Invincible as a whole, just in the comics and the show. I do think it's something that really does kind of take away from the story because, I mean, some episodes Alan is stronger than a lot of Viltrumites. Some episodes he's just getting his cheeks clapped doing absolutely nothing on the screen, like it's not enjoyable to like watch fights like that, and it's just like, oh, whatever this fight or whatever the narrative calls for at this moment, that's how strong your character is.
I think that's a valid criticism.
I think it works like that style of writing or whatever can work too. Like for instance, if it's like that's really our only hero and they power up like that is a little more normal, I guess, but like I don't know.
Yeah, when you're never sure what they can do at any given moment.
Yeah, it does take away from. I don't know. It's like the Viltrumite chop too. Like, just make one thing consistent, please.
No, the Viltrumite chop might be like the worst, most egregious thing in the combat of Invincible, because it really is like there is no explanation behind it, so it really is just like, why would you ever ball your fist up and punch something when you could literally turn your arm into an indestructible blade that could cut through anything? But yeah, I'll let Aaron get with his segment.
I was a little bit worried at the beginning of this season when they gave us Herm, but I think that this season getting the filler obligation out of the way a little bit earlier worked in their favor. I think that the second half of this season was just absolutely incredible. I haven't loved the show the way that I did in this season since probably the last couple of episodes of season 1. It just felt story-wise like a return to form. I would say it's about as close to perfect as this show has gotten. It might even be better in some places than season 1 was. I think they ran a real tight ship in terms of the story. I won't rehash the animation complaints. I agree with them. I think they can. Amazon can do a lot better and give them a bigger budget and some more time, some more animators, whatever they need to make this a little bit better. I think for what they have, they're doing their best. But that being said, these episodes, I'm struggling here, but I think I've also got to go with that 9 out of 10 and then give the whole season an 8 out of 10 just because of Herm and the Sequids. Those are the two detractors. But other than that, pretty perfect, and I loved it. But with that, I think that we're going to start wrapping up today. Any final thoughts from the people before we say goodbye to everyone at home?
Yeah, Chase, you didn't say anything about Data Twin number 2, so Fraud Watch.
There's just too much to say. We need a whole episode.
I mean, I think there's too much to say. Yeah, like, well,
All right, I'll see you
I
guys
think
next
everyone
week.
knows how important Data Twin number 2 is.
So when's our special episode on him gonna be?
It'll be coming out probably in the next 3 to 4 business years.
It'll probably come out on the 32nd of May.
That's a good timeline. I think that we can do that. And with that, we are going to wrap up for today. Thank you to everyone for joining us. But before we let you guys go, just a quick shout out to everyone else in the network. First and foremost, the ones who make everything possible, our parent podcast, the Lorehounds. They are currently doing some coverage of the Daredevil show. They're doing mall coverage. They just wrapped up their pit coverage, which I believe that they have maybe 1 or 2 more episodes post pit to talk about how the season as a whole went coming. So definitely stay tuned for that. Also in the network, we've got excellent podcasts like We'll Shift Dust, Star Wars Canon Timeline Podcast, Rings and Rituals, Properly Howard Movie Review, The Severance Podcast, Nevermind the Music, and the newest podcast, Into the West. They have their first episode out about Gene Hackman now, looking at his career and just doing a little retrospective on a few actors who have passed away. So definitely go check out all of these shows. The link for that, as well as links to all of the ways to get in touch with us, are going to be in the show notes. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you next week.